This is so weird. When I did my live on my other channel, my head was reversed. This is so weird. Now I'm looking in the mirror. Okay, so let's talk about the Ten of Spades. It's kind of a rare card. And when I first started to look into it, if you're the Ten of Spades and you've gone to my It Is Kismet and you bought the report for the Ten of Spades and you're like, that doesn't resonate with me at all. I don't blame you because it's just a really rare card. However, and maybe I need to go back in and rewrite that, but because, here, let's do a little saging before we get too much into this. Happy New Year. Let's clear you. Let's take this in. Take in the clearing energy. Call in your guides and your blessed angels and know that you're safe this year. And everything that happens is for the increase of light in you. It's going to be a really powerful year, right? What have you noticed so far? I made a video on my other channel about all my lessons and insights recently about taking charge of whatever's going on in your life and being like, not being so dependent on other people's input to tell you what's going on in your life, but to just have this sovereignty. So maybe that's partly the Ten of Spades. So the reason I know a lot more about the Ten of Spades now is that it is the composite card for my marriage. So when you add my husband's card, the Three of Clubs, to my card, the Seven of Diamonds, you end up with, what is that like? Let's see. The Ace of Spades is 40, right? It's 40. 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. It's the 49th. It adds up to 49. So that's how you get a composite vibration. And let me tell you, this is so powerful. We haven't really I say we, I don't know what you've been doing, but I have not been plumbing the depths of composite readings that, hi, Jeannie, Aries, 5 of Diamonds, 9 of Diamonds. Yeah, me too. I want to ask you about your card because what I've learned about the 5 of Diamonds, 9 of Diamonds combination is that you know that your planetary ruler is also your karma card, which is, to me, that is, okay, so that also works out for the December 15th birthday and many other birthdays because December 15th is the 3 of Clubs. And then their Jupiter card is the 5 of Diamonds, which also sits under, meaning like underneath the 3 of Clubs. So what does that mean? I think what it means is that it's like a double strength lesson in the 9 of Diamonds. And the way I see it is that the gifts that you've gained in the 9 of Diamonds past life, you can propel them in the arena of your career. So here's just a nutshell of what might be happening for you is that the way I described this, what came to me a long time ago, I'm not sure if I still resonate with this, but I'll just say it. What I got is that the 5 of Diamonds is here to live a life of freedom and sovereignty over their own destiny. And they're into fun and change and variety and travel, and they're just like, they're going to do it up this time, and they're going to have a lot of fun. The 9 of Diamonds karma card under there is a card of self-effacement, self-sacrifice, service, giving yourself away. And in a past life, there was a life of servitude, which may have been as dark as slavery or just having been in a service position. But there was a this weight, like you have to learn how to serve. And so for whatever you gained in that lifetime from being generosity, being this loving, giving, the 9 of Diamonds energy will go out. Whose terms is it going out on? Is it your terms of surrender and trust? That's the key word, is surrender. Not a popular word in today's culture. Surrender to divine purpose. Surrender to your higher self. Surrender to your own sovereignty. It doesn't have to be disempowering. It's just about being really insulated from the influences around you, like a monastic or a saint or like Jesus on a mission. It's like, hey, I'm a rebel because I answer to one thing. Not you, not your rules, not your culture. I answer to my divine directive. So they take that, hello, Eden, they take that energy of what they learned in a service lifetime and they put it in their Mars arena, relationships with men, career, physical projects, passionate things. We find it hard to fulfill that 9 of diamonds because we put others first, so we even feel guilty in gaining, right? It's like hard to charge for my services. Like I believe it will come back one way or another. Oh, Jeannie, yes, absolutely. I believe, so speaking of the caretaking program, you can go watch my video on my other channel, which is just my name, Paula Kruger. And I talk about that a little bit about the caretaking program and how I think that's something that is, I think it's hardwired. I think it was put into us by fiendish Anunnaki beings to be like, we want you to be comfortable with slavery. And so we feel guilty for just being normal sovereign beings. And I think as a collective, we've really been working to get rid of that program. And it's like as a 5 of diamonds, you're absolutely, utterly compelled because your desire is very strong and that's an asset. And it'll create this conflict. My desire, what I feel like I should do for others, it's going to be in conflict. So it's one that you're compelled to resolve. And just know, 5 of diamonds, that you're sparkly, happy, wonderful. The wisdom of your inner child is a delight and a blessing to everyone. This was the card that I got in my other reading, which is this generosity that we're all abundantly pouring out the blessings that we are to those around us, and to recognize the value of that. It's hard to do in isolation because we're so aware of our foibles. But anyway, there you have it, 5 of diamonds, a mini reading for you today. So getting back to the 10 of spades, the reason I know a lot more about it is because it's Stuart's in my composite card. So I'm just going to do a little plug for, now that I understand my ascending card, I see myself more clearly. Oh, fabulous. Mercury, Venus, Mars. So that would be the 3 of spades. Oh, it says 7 of spades. Ascendant card. Are you talking about like my ascension cardology type thing? Because the 7. Oh, no, I get it. Is it the decan? Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter. Are you in the second? The decan. Is that what you're talking about? Oh, based on the rising sign. I totally buy into that. Yes. Okay, well, try this. Try looking at the 3 of spades as your planetary ruler. Get that report, look into it, whatever you know about it, apply it, and go, oh, yeah, I am an actuator. I am my own troubleshooter. I'm a realist, and I'm also my best cheerleader. I'm a realist and an optimist rolled into one, and I actuate, and I want to achieve, and I want to bring my creative output into the world. That's the 3 of spades. So that's my ascension card thing that my guides told me, if you go in the other direction and up. So not just to the down and down and to the left, but up and to the right. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. Okay, so the 10 of spades occupying, okay, in this spread, which is just the descending mundane spread, we have 10 of spades right here. It's in Jupiter, Mercury, thinking and expansion. You're welcome. Thinking is Mercury. Jupiter is expansion, living into my potential, making it bigger, abundant success. How do we think about success? So this is a really good day to answer that question. How do you define success? And so with that being the composite card, as I would say with anybody's birth card, it's a descriptor, but it's also an assignment. And it may be, in the Buddhist sense, when they give you a name, it's meant to affirm you and insult you just a little. So my Buddhist name is Genpatame, which means generosity boundless. There are ways that I'm very generous and other ways that I'm terribly stingy. And I'm getting over that because now that I'm working the 9 of Hearts spread. The 9 of Diamonds is my descending Saturn card. So that's all about generosity, having to learn about that. Okay, they're telling me defining success. Okay. They want me to talk about the karma cards. Oh, this is very interesting. My guides they're interrupting me. They're so funny. They're just like, they're like little sprites. They're really excited. Okay, let me complete my thought, which was your assignment. Your birth card is your assignment. Your composite card is the assignment of the relationship. It does not denote achievement. So don't feel bad if you're like, I'm a 5 and I just don't feel free. So the assignment of your composite card. Okay, what I've learned about our assignment as the 10 of Spades is that we have to define for ourselves what success is. And it's definitely on our windshield. Individually, we came together like 12 years ago feeling very unsuccessful and defeated as individuals. And we've had to really go through the Play-Doh machine with all of that, more like the dryer and getting beat up. But now I think we have a much more sovereignly defined idea of what success is. Each individual defines success for themselves, and as long as you're chasing after someone else's definition of success, you're not going to be happy. What is success? It is just such a bill of goods in this culture. I love that I've been looking at the ascending spread. Amazing. I'm an artist, but also astrology, palm cardology reader goes with that scattered. Love it. Indecisive, but ever artsy card that really pulls me into communicating through art what I can't find words for. Oh, that's genius. Genie. You're the genie in the bottle, you're the genius. You know, the root, have you looked into the root of the word genie and genius? And your genie, like the familiar, the higher self, the Uranus card denotes our genius. I think the Neptune card does too, but if you look at your Uranus card, so your descending Uranus is the King of Clubs. So is there a genius there in terms of a realm of knowledge or study? Just the 5 of Diamonds that I know, they really under advertise, in a sense, their intelligence. They're brilliant, but they don't necessarily wear that, like, I'm really smart. They're just like really fun, happy, creative, a lot of dynamic movement, but they're actually brilliant. They're just brilliant. Very understated, that's the word. Your ascending Uranus is the Ace of Hearts, so you have a natural genius with children and with your own inner child. That definitely fits 5 of Diamonds, I know. So the 10 of Spades, how do we think about success? Okay, it's got a karmic relationship to marriage, doesn't it? Yes, everything esoteric, and that Queen of Spades Mercury really has been taking the stand this year. Awesome! It's like there are compensations with every card, and that's one of the big compensations for the 5 of Diamonds or anybody with cards in that arena, like 9 of Hearts, 7 of Clubs, 5 of Diamonds, Jack of Clubs, 9 of Diamonds, 7 of Spades. They're all cards that they're all odd, and the 2 of Clubs, the fearful 2 of Clubs, they're all cards that maybe feel a little bit shaky about themselves, and they have to deal with a lot of internal self-doubt. And they have that Queen of Spades planted right in the middle there, which gives them this voice, this power. And I think other people recognize that in them, their capacity to be fierce. And I think it takes us a while to really integrate that. So me as a 7 of Diamonds, 9 of Hearts, I really relate to that. And so wherever she sits in your hand, she becomes an ascending moon card for you, which is this secret, private, I am sovereign. God, I have to tell my friend Jess this. She's my bestie lately. She's a 5 of Diamonds. She's Edgar Casey's birthday, the Neptune, the Piscean, March 18th. But anyway, yeah, there is such a solidarity within them. I need to be a 5 of diamonds to raise my Aquarius, Jack of spades, and my 2-year-old. Oh, your children. Jack of spades. Whoa, what's that like? Little alchemist. And my 2-year-old Gemini, 8 of diamonds, twin babies. Send help. Yeah, the Geminis are about 18 people each, so you're the perfect mom. You're perfectly wired to parent them. Oh my God, I love that. So the younger generations inhabit their cards very differently. Have you noticed that? Like the old school 8 of diamonds, I nicknamed it the asshole card. Okay. But what I've noticed is like from about 30 and down, they inhabit that card with a lot of self-doubt. There are a lot of issues from that 7 of clubs that are like, just not really sure of myself, a kind of insecurity. And I think that's really powerful. I mean, to have that kind of power, and if you square up and you're honest with that insecurity, that could really result in a very clean form of leadership that doesn't push away vulnerability, but has integrated it. Your husband is, guess what? A 10 of clubs. This is a house of learning and teaching. Wow. 10 of clubs, 8 of diamonds. Oh, and that 5 of diamonds, they're showing me like an anchor in reverse, like a pendulum that like hangs beneath the structure that's like, hey, let's go over here. Hey, let's do this. And it's like the weight of your curiosity, pulling people in different directions rather than just being kind of fixed. Hey, Slim Bigums. This, my Mercury card and my 52-day card displacing a 2 of diamonds this year. A little more clarity, Slim. The 5 of diamonds is your Mercury card, and you're displacing, and your 52-day card. So you have it, okay, whatever your Mercury card is, you have it right now. And it's your Mercury card, and you're displacing 2 of diamonds this year. So what's your birthday, Slim? What's your card? But it's always relevant that like whoever gets on and we end up talking about some other card. Okay, you're the queen of clubs. Oh, 12-6, same as Dr. Sue. She might get on and watch this. Yeah, we were all up in the queen of clubs last reading. So 10 of spades is your Mercury and your 52-day card right now. Gotcha. Which is you're in your Mercury period. Okay, got it. So your job, Slim, during this period and today, today it's really in your face, this 10 of spades energy. I would take notes at the end of today, just like a couple sentences, like broad strokes. What are the themes of today for you? What was kind of up in your face? Because I have a really strong feeling that when you get like a month away from this period and what you were really dealing with, you're too close in it to see it, but somehow, with more perspective, it's going to help you understand your relationship to success, to busyness, I've named it the card of tireless devotion, that when it's in its essence, it's something that we gain energy from doing. We lose track of time. It's like your dharmic work. Like, oh my God, I would do this. That's all the horsepower is engaged. 10 of spades sitting in the Jack of spades house. I'm not sure that I understand that. The Jack of spades house is where the 10 of clubs is. That's okay. That's okay if I missed that one. If you want to try to explain it, that's fine. But anyway, yeah, today is a little microcosm, little mini storm of how this is playing a role in your life, what issue this is bringing up. So what I have noticed about my very, very dear friend who I'm having coffee with later, who is the Queen of Clubs. I talked to her about the Ten of Spades a lot because she's, oh, the Ten of Spades is displacing the Jack of Spades, like this year or in another spread. Let me look at the Ascension cards. Mm. That Ten of Spades has a karmic relationship with marriage, doesn't it? Because the two karma cards are the Four of Hearts and the Ten of Hearts, which are, oh, meaning like your age. Okay. So here's the Ten of Spades up here in the middle, and it makes this perfect triangle. Here's the Four of Hearts, and here's the Queen of Hearts. So this karmic relationship. So it's like, yeah, since it's our relationship composite card, it's like deal with the karma of your marriage, deal with the karma of marriage itself. So we were actually together 12 years and then just tied the knot this past September. So yeah, definitely had a weird relationship to marriage itself, commitment, that kind of thing. So it's a very adult card. It's that spade. It's very like competent. There's an energy of doing, having lots of things in your field, being able to do a lot of things. 10 means a lot of something. Spades means either work or in the physical realm. It's kind of these cards are difficult to describe, and I think that there's a very esoteric spin on all of the spades that is it's way more complicated than just the Robert Camp interpretation of, oh, it just means work or the physical realm. It's an amalgamation. So only Richmond came to me one time and said, the spade is as you think it is. There is like a Russian nesting doll. The King of Spades is the biggest one that contains them all. And the spade looks like a leaf because the tree has taken in the light, the fire of the diamond, the water of the heart and the rain, and the minerals from the earth or the air, which is clubs. And it results in this carbon thing. So spades represent an amalgamation of a lot of things. And I think that's one reason spades don't talk a lot. They're constantly doing this energy of culminating, integrating, synthesizing. And then when they come out with something, it's been fully processed through their capacity for the heart, the club, and the diamond. And I think that it's kind of natural to envy the suit that is just beyond yours. So the spades would actually envy the hearts, the children. Oh, they've got the essence figured out. They just are it. And I think they also envy heart people because they've got their priorities in the right place. They may lack emotional maturity. It's their assignment to create emotional maturity in this lifetime, but there's an unavoidable clarity in being heart-centered, feeling-centered. So, like as a diamond, I'm always envying the spade. I'm like, oh, they've really got their shit together. You know, the heart is probably saying, oh, if I could just think about this more clearly, like the clubs, you know, or just laugh about it. Happy New Year, Jackie Washington, MBA. Wow, I was just watching your video about the Queen of Clubs. The Ten of Spades is my personality card. Okay, so you're a Virgo. Okay, consider the possibility that the Ace of Clubs is your ascending Virgo planetary ruler. Curiosity, the thirst for knowledge, the quest for information. And when you make it the Ten of Spades, your moon card, you turn it in the other direction, go the ascending direction. The Ten of Spades, your moon card. Okay, so General message for everyone. Think of your Mercury card as your ascending moon card, which means it is a secret power, a secret asset, something you don't feel the need to advertise or talk about. The moon has a hidden quality. It's an emotional truth. And when it is all lights turned on, you know you're in your power and your strength. When you're feeling that way, that your ascending moon card, which you think of as your regular Mercury, that's your asset. So that 10 of spades becomes that for the queen of clubs. And what it is just absolute confidence. Yes, I'm talking about ascension cards, which is something I've discovered. It's a whole new way of looking. My guides have been niggling me about this since, well, I've been studying these for like close to 30 years. At 16 years, they said, you're in. We're going to start sharing esoteric mysteries with you. And they started talking to me. And then about 5 years ago, more like 10 years ago, they said, you can read these in the other direction. I was like, no, la, too much. Next lifetime. And they're like, it also goes forward and backward and up and down. And they're like, it's multi-dimensional. And I'm like, oh, well, it just really locked in for me that when we get to this April, it will be 2 years ago that I really locked into this and began studying it. And what I also realized is we think of this as the moon or the mundane spread, the other spread. Well, if you think of the magic circle of cards, where's my thingy? I knew I was going to need this page. Just going to explain it to you really briefly. I don't know if you'll catch it, but okay, so here's the magic circle of cards. So let's think of the 10 of spades, because it's at the very top, living in its home position, which is down where the Queen of Hearts sits, right? Neptune. So if that's its home position, and you go one click in the other direction, the Queen of Hearts sits there. And if you go one click in the other direction, the Four of Hearts sits there. That's the 43rd year, right? Just before you go 44 and everything goes to the pure spread. So just think of going one click in the other direction. And I've been playing with that as the ascension mundane spread. So this is descending mundane. This is ascending mundane. Just pull out 43 and then look at your hand, locate your card and be like, oh, that's a whole new take. And what is ascending? It just means living more into your potential rather than just resolving issues from the past. And we've all been doing that our whole lives, right? So I think we're going from the Kali Yuga to the Dwarpa Yuga. I think we're transitioning into a higher frequency. And I think that's why this was revealed to me. So play with it. The Four of Hearts would be the ascending transformation card to the Queen of Clubs. Okay, so terminology. We don't have a unified terminology in this system, do we? The Four of Hearts would be, what do you mean by ascending transformation card? So if we look at the Queen of Clubs sits in this position, in this ascending card. So yeah, I'm not sure what you mean. I'll wait. Six of Diamonds, Uranus, Eden, what does that mean? Does that mean that the Six of Diamonds is your Uranus card? I'm getting very confused. Yeah, when you type in a comment, try to give me a frame of reference, because by the time I see the comment, I've already moved on like 3 sentences, and I'm so ADD that we could be in China by the time I see your comment. I was saying to read the cards backwards. Okay, so Eden. Oh, okay, wait. I'll go back. So the Queen of Clubs goes the other direction. Yeah, with this life spread, you would go the other direction. Okay, I think I see what you're saying. Mercury. Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Jupiter, Saturn. Yes. What you guys call the transformation card, I think of as Saturn plus plus. I just go Jupiter, Saturn, Jupiter, Saturn. The 4 cards that are after the Pluto card. I know you know what I mean. Yes, yes. So isn't that interesting to think about? And that is, let me tell you what it is. It's coming home to the self rather than being contained in the safety of marriage or a committed relationship, which is something Queen of Clubs can achieve as they get older and they deal with, all the issues. We've all got them. Okay, I'm not poking fun at the Queen of Clubs. It's all of us. Okay. But when they resolve some of their crap, they can finally land in a relationship where they're not doing this caretaking thing quite as much and they're more clear. So that can be that they end up in but what it really means, the essence of it is that you have realized that you are responsible to create a sense of security for yourself. All fours, when they show up in your life, think of it as a homeopathic dose. This is very true of the Ten of Spades. Could be why this is coming up today, because of its karmic relationship to Four of Hearts and Queen of Hearts. So instead of thinking of those as marriage, bliss, sex, happy relationship, commitment cards, think of being all of that within yourself. Whenever a 4 comes up, it's a homeopathic dose that's going to throw you a little insecurity so that you develop your own antibodies or whatever for that condition. Okay, so, someone broke up with me, or they told me they want to be poly, or they're just not quite so sure about where this relationship is going, and you're like, insecurity. What do? You get enough of those jolts in your life. You grow into this place of like, I'm not going to be so racked by that anymore because I'm going to be okay. Either way, you source that security more and more from within yourself. So the Queen of Clubs do have a particular relationship to that, and they are what they can do. Okay, so as an ascending transformation card, it has this spin on it. Think of it in terms of service and what you can give away. The ascending cards are you reaching your potential and putting that frequency out into the world and offering it as your form of abundance. So ultimately, what I see from Queen of Clubs and females is that when they're really mature, they have the capacity to make you feel safe. They have a delicious, loving, maternal energy. They're the Mother Mary card. It's very natural for them to be maternal, but are they being the controlling maternal? Are they being the lecturing maternal? Are they being the hard-ass maternal? Or have they reached this maturity within themselves where they've learned to be that for themselves and live and let live, and they just are a safe place for other people? So Jeannie says, so if I understand correctly about the Ascension cards, it's like mastering the Queen of Spades, Mercury. I can operate with my 7 of Clubs ascending Mercury. That would be the height of my communication skills. Yes, exactly. I'm really impressed that I followed all of that. Yeah, isn't it weird? You get in this, blah, 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 blah. It's such a weird lexicon, isn't it? But yeah, that 7 of Clubs, the gift that you offer with your words, with your communication. I think of Ceres. It's like a planetoid, and where it is in your chart, cereal. It's like the goddess of cereal, grains, how we feed people. Mine is in Gemini, which means I nurture with my words. That's just kind of how I think of it. I have an association. So the way you nurture and direct and gift others with your words and your communication is insight, sensitivity, clarity, discrimination, discernment. It's the 7 of Clubs is highly sensitive, very fine-tuned, and it's also, okay, it's not just the heavy fear of disappointment in the lower vibration, it's cheerful, it's funny, it's zany, it's off the wall. 7s, you just can't predict them. You don't know if they're coming or going, or if they're serious, or anyway, they can be great fun. My former husband of 24 years is a 4 of Hearts. Interesting. My dad, peace and blessings be upon him, is a 4 of clubs. Okay. Um, yeah. So that it was their assignment to create security for others. I felt safe and secure with both of them. Oh, isn't that sweet? And that's the thing about a 4 is that they may help you to feel that way, but they may not feel that way themselves. They really do. They have a stabilizing effect. Like the 2 of diamonds, I was married to a 2 of diamonds for a while, and so their ascending Mercury is the 4 of clubs. So with their words, with his words, he really did help. Yeah, it goes for planetary ruling cards. It's like a total reframe on everything. You can sort of pull yourself out of your little box of like, this is how I am and this is my life. You could be like, hey, how about if you try on being like a queen of diamonds? Like, if you consider that? Like, when I did one of these in the Ascension cards, I'm like, holy cow, my decon card in the ascending thing. So is Sagittarius for me. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. No, no, no. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter. It's the 6 of hearts. So the way of relating to people is with this 6 of hearts, which is incredibly nurturing and kind and sweet. And I think of myself as very selfish, but it's actually true that I do engage with others. Like, okay, the way I think of the decon card, this discovery I made in my last video is that the decon, the decan, I looked up how to say that word and I played it over and over to try to get it in there. Well, it's not quite in there, but decan, 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 the decan card is your ideal way of relating to the world. So if you figure out your partner's decan card and your decan card, and then you do a study around the interaction of those two cards, that is your ideal planetary connection. It's like, oh yeah, like when we're really thriving, we've got a high vibratory Uranus connection. Live and let live, no expectations. So that's a fun study to do. That is really cool. So yeah, I think we're being really charged with the stuff that's coming through to me is higher potential and higher functioning and service and stuff rather than just all the crap that we're here to sort through. And there will be that till we're dead. There's always stuff to resolve, but that's not all we are. We're divine sparks that just come to express this beautiful color and personality. And like it's a feast, isn't it? It's just a feast. Running to look up birth charts, right? You're like, oh my God, like, yeah. So the Deccan thing, some of them you do have to look up, but if you're born in the first, so there's 30 days roughly of every sign. So does your birthday fall in the first 10, the second 10, or the third 10? And then you advance around the wheel of your element. Like as a Leo, I would advance around. So I'm in the second decan. So I would go, okay, the first decan would be Leo. It would be mine, my home sun sign. And then I would advance to the second one if I'm in the second decan. So I advance to Sagittarius. So my decan card is my Jupiter card, the way I relate to the world. So descending, that'd be the 9 of spades, which is definitely true. It's always like the big picture. And 5 of clubs ascending, which is really tricky because I've always thought, oh, I just don't like those 5 of clubs. They just really bother me. I'm so triggered by 5 of clubs. And of course, that's because I embody the annoying aspects of the 5 of clubs. But they're not always annoying, right? Like they're insightful, they're fun, they're funny, they're curious, they're mile a minute communication. So yeah, and I'm always like, have you heard this? Did you hear this? Did you know this? Your bones aren't comprised of just calcium. There's like 12 different minerals and then a whole bunch of trace minerals. And I'm always passing on this research information. And sometimes it's like a fire hose with people. Did you know this? And 7 of diamonds can be like that, right? It's kind of annoying. Oh, so coming back to the Ten of Spades, or any questions you might have. This is really funny. Let's talk about the hand of the Ten of Spades. No, let's see my guides. They were like, talk about where it lives. Okay, so here's something that I've always wanted to kind of, Mars is your decant, so the Three of Diamonds is your relating, Mercury, Venus, Mars. Mercury, Venus, Mars, it's also the King of Spades. Now, let me tell you, Slim, something about the magic of the King of Spades as an ascending decan card. So your ideal way of relating to people is that you can morph into them energetically, because when you add the King of Spades to any other card, you end up with the other card. 52 plus the Nine of Hearts equals the Nine of Hearts. My mom was the King of Spades, and she managed to really hold you in your vibration. It's a perfect reflection. You can offer a perfect reflection to people with that as an ascending decan card. And also, you can carry a heavy responsibility, feeling like you always have to have your shit together. And dude, you don't, okay? You're just human, right? You're just one person. And everybody has their job too. So anyway, this is my little soapbox to this community. Go to the Pure Spread way more often than you think you should. Why do we sort of brush by the Pure Spread over and over? Seven of Diamonds. Right. We have a Uranus connection. Yeah, you would be my ascending Uranus. So when I'm in this ideal kind of non-attached place, I'm into organizing and sharing information with no expectation. I become the teacher. So like in these videos, hopefully I'm inhabiting the Queen of Clubs in an ascending way. I nurture with knowledge and information. I help organize it, and I'm not pushy with it. But here I'm going to be pushy with something, because that's how Queen of Clubs can be, right? They're like the little preacher. Now, children, refer to the Pure Spread as often as possible, because with all of this shifting stuff, okay, there are teachings embedded in all of the placements. We know that Queen of Spades in the pinnacle position is a teaching in itself, right? Self-mastery, taking full responsibility for yourself. That's when you get the big picture. Oh, thank you, Jackie. The Ten of Diamonds, or no, the Queen of Clubs sitting in the very middle, can feel that pull from everybody around them. They're the networker. They're in touch with everybody. They can tell you, oh, I know the best chiropractor. Oh my God, you need the cleanest water possible. I know where you can get that. Accounting, I know an accountant. Like, they're just like the resource. They know everybody. So there are teachings embedded in the placements. Study these. And if you have, like, the ten of Spades is up. Let's look at the Ten of Spades. Where does he live? He or she, it lives in Neptune. Whoa. Addiction, projection, idealism, bliss. It's the bliss card. It's bliss. Are you willing to work for it? Is a little bit of an old paradigm way of talking about it, but your dharmic work that you do tirelessly. That's why I call it the card of tireless devotion, is that you've got 10 horsepower. I just think of it as having all the horses in the barn hooked up, going one place. I love making sculptures, and it's been 3 days and I haven't even eaten because I love it so much. That's the Ten of Spades. That's the Neptune of like, I'm captivated by my bliss. And yes, it can behave like an addiction. So that is one way to look at the Ten of Spades. Where do you live? What are the planets that you're working with? So the Seven of Diamonds, I'm working with Saturn. What is the purpose of purpose? How do we really spend time? What is time? I mean, and this is like right up my alley. It's like, if you want to see what your soul is really working, look at your Pure Spread planetary intersection. Okay, now I have to catch up with you guys. Oh, and you're so welcome. This is really fun, isn't it? Three of Clubs is my ascending decapan card, decon, decan. It's your ascending decan card. Yeah, if you did this correctly, because you're the Five of Diamonds, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, right? So your decan is ruled by Sagittarius, right? Um, I was born with the sun in the third decan of Aries. Yes, right. Jupiter ruled end pointing. Yes, would be the Three of Clubs. So your way of relating is tell me a story. Can I tell you a story? Let's talk about the whole story. Let's not come to a conclusion. Let's not be binary in our thinking. Let's just take in the information. Let's write about it. Let's talk about it. You want to talk about it? Is this you? Oh my God. I would love to hang out with you. I love this. Okay. Do you use the cards in the astro chart? I'm guessing you mean example. I'm Gemini rising. So Ace of Clubs. Oh, that's so sweet, Jackie. Okay. Do you use the cards in the astrology chart? Example, I'm Gemini rising, so Ace of Clubs would be my ascending rising. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Right. So I'm Virgo ascendant, so the Seven of Hearts would be my ascending planetary ruler. And man, is that ever a good fit? I mean, like sensitivity much? Ooh. But then it is the capacity to deliver sensitive information in a very tender-hearted way. That's the upside of the Seven of Hearts. Also a non-attachment, a beauty, a spiritual love kind of thing. Anyway, so the Ace of Clubs, it's a tendency to be very self-focused, but what I tell people with Ace of Clubs energy is ultimately the big picture is that you're going from oneness. You are everyone and everyone is you. You've got a unique capacity to access that. And also with the karma card of the Two of Hearts, the other card, you're exploring intimacy. Okay, it's intimacy with another, it's sharing, it's safety, but it's also intimacy with the divine, either through a relational model, like with Jesus and the beloved, or like with Rumi, Sufism, the friend. Some, religious models are relational, and some are more like oneness, like Buddhism, Hinduism. It's the oneness. And that's what the Ace of Clubs is about. And if people accuse you of being self-centered, self-focused, self-absorbed, you say, that's my job this time around. Okay, I'm the poster child for being self-focused. Take heed and so forth. I mean, pull your head out occasionally. But that's, it's okay. It's your job in this lifetime. And it takes an ace to understand an ace too. Like, connecting with another ace, you're like, yeah, I know, I'm all about it. Slim, I hope you don't feel insulted. That's just me talking shit. Yes, I love that Ten of Spades delineation. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. Yes, that would be fun. I got stories for days. I'm Dominican, so all we have is stories. Oh my God, I love that. Oh, the power of story. Yeah, super fun. Super fun with you guys today. I love this. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's look at where the Ten of Spades sits in the ascending mundane chart. Okay. I'm live really randomly, and I put a request out there to you guys to please tell me what you want me to talk about. I really do have a breadth and a depth of, it's a past life thing with the cards. Tell me what you want me to talk about. I need to just sort of brainstorm with myself, but I'm also a responder in the human design, so I would love to respond to your request for a focus, but I'm on very randomly. Thank you for participating, Jackie. That was so much fun. Okay, so the Ten of Spades is located in they want me to talk about its relationship to the Eight of Spades. Discipline. Oh, it doesn't really understand the discipline thing, does it? That's my husband and I. Oh my God. One of our sicknesses is that he, like, when it gets quiet and we sort of disappear, we're both playing Spider on the computer. Oh, it's sick. It's just sick. Isn't it just the technological addiction? Oh, can we all just take a fast from our technology? Ugh. Um, Want you know more about past life readings with the cards. Oh, thank you, Slim. And yes, ask Jeannie for clarification. What do you mean about past lives? Because I'm all about that. Holy shit, am I about that. When I look at a relationship and I'm doing a composite, or not a composite, but like if you go to my website, it is kismet.com. It gives you instructions to text me, to contact me. And you go, hey, I want a cosmic connection reading. It's $45. It's all through email. And I tune into you and your person that you're asking me about. Tell me the general nature of the relationship and like first names so that I can refer to who I'm talking about. Also, I get an imprint from first names. And then I see your past life connections. It just comes to me. And I do see it through the cards. It's like it's a catalyst. So you can't look at the cards and go, oh, your past life, you were a president of Uganda. No, it's like you get hits. You get, you know, oh, past life karma. That's a good one. Yeah, definitely. There's past life karma stuff about, embedded in the cards. So 10 of spades have a definitely with the karma cards of the 4 of hearts and the queen of hearts. They have a very karmic relationship to partnership, marriage, commitment, all of that. And it's undefined what that karmic relationship is. It just means that there's imbalance. It occasionally means a reward, that this lifetime you get a free ride because you did such a good job with those things in the past. Sometimes the past life karma card isn't karma, it's experience. It's, oh, I got this under my belt. And it varies. It means there's a locus of energy around that. It doesn't mean that you fucked it up last time or you got it totally figured out. It could be all of those. I look at the natal charts and have places that I look to for the past life, Kalenya. But overall, the entire chart is the karma, so it can get so interesting. But I love seeing the dynamic of current relationships and how they show up in synastry charts. I've heard that term once before. I love the feeling of that. Is that like just a whole total complete look at how the two cards are relating? I look at the natal charts. Okay, so the natal charts of the people. And you have places in those charts where you look for past life karma. But overall, the entire chart is the karma. So it can get interesting. Yes, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, and certain things jump out at you intuitively, right? It's just like that movie, The Golden Compass, the way she describes reading the alethiometer, which literally in Latin means truth meter. Alethi is truth. So like she describes it as like an elevator going down through all the various interpretations, and then you just sort of land at one and you go, oh, this is what it means today in this moment, in this context. Yes. Okay. So the 10 of spades, let us consider the possibility that we're not just working with Neptune or Mercury, Jupiter, thinking about success, but in the 43rd chart, it sits in Venus, Saturn, where we think of the 9 of clubs, but where the Queen of Hearts lives. So where my renter lives, that's how you figure out where it sits in the 43rd chart. You go, where my renter lives. So the 10 of diamonds goes, okay, my renter is the Queen of Spades. Where does she live? She lives in the pinnacle position. So that's where the 10 of diamonds sits in the 43rd chart. Where does my renter live? Where do they hail from? Where is home? Not where they live, but where is home? Where is my renter's home? Synastry is the overlap of two natal charts. Oh, that's a lot. You're a 4 of 6 emotional generator. Can I share the 10 of diamonds once I'm done? Yeah. Past life karma regarding, yes, I would love to tap into that. Okay, so if we're sitting Saturn Venus. Okay, so Saturn Venus is near and dear to my heart because as a 7 of diamonds, I'm Venus Venus, but 9 of hearts, I'm Saturn Saturn. So the dance of Saturn and Venus, and this is how I frame this, test it. Always test it. That's why it's the Mystic Test book. Taste and see that the Lord is good. Taste and test. They put the little book in my mouth that turned bitter in my mouth. First it was sweet, but then it turned bitter. That's in Revelation. You know, this whole seven thunders thing. If you're not following me, I'm talking Robert Camp and how he thinks about this whole little system, the little book of cards. The angel put it in my mouth. It was like a burning coal. At first it was sweet, but then it turned bitter because it's a mirror and it reflects you back to yourself and you go, oh, like I've got issues. But anyway, oh shit, I've got issues. It's like Bill and Ted. I just got fruited. Where was I? I get so lost. I'm sorry. Hi, Brenda, I love that name. You're an Aquarius, third decan Venus. You're a King of Diamonds. Okay, so King of Diamonds, and your planetary ruler is the Six of Diamonds. Oh, I need to breathe. I'm getting over the Rona. Just makes your lungs feel tired, doesn't it? Take if you're getting over the Rona, take the make sure you take bromelain. It's super cheap. Or eat pineapples because it encases and removes the spike proteins from it. Anyway, God, I wish I knew what I was talking about. Does anybody remember? Oh, the Saturn Venus dance. It's all about karmic relationships. Who is your dance partner in this lifetime? That's something we can think about. It's also, oh, the divine, the vertical, the mystic taste book. That's what I was talking about. The vertical line of the intersection. Think of it as the divine energy. Just experiment with this. Okay, so Slim, the Queen of Diamonds. Let's go back to this because we just know how this is our map. Queen of Diamonds. Okay, so the vertical is, we would think of that as divine Mars. What is the divine or the highest vibration of Mars energy would be devotion, passion, strength, physical strength. I can carry this through physically. I can do it, do the thing. Okay, the horizontal I think of as the mundane energy that we're working with the earth. So could that be mind? I got to do this thing. I'm going to do this thing, but I'm going to overthink it because I'm working with Mercury. Okay. No, that was the point. That was the vertical and the horizontal. Test that out and see if that works for you. Your vertical line. Okay, so the King of Diamonds, let's talk about you for a second. So vertical Venus, which means, okay, think of this too. I've done this. Look at every single one of the cards in the vertical Venus line. Ace of Clubs, 7 of Diamonds, King of Diamonds, 4 of Spades, 5 of Hearts, Jack of Clubs, 4 of Diamonds. They're all deeply relational. Relationship is their priority. They're like empty without relationship. They're not all good at relationship, okay, but it's like they orbit. It's like if they're the moon, it's their earth. Relationship is their earth and they orbit it. And they're like, oh, it's all about connection. You know, they're warm, there's a sweetness and a beauty. Venus is about the beauty in life, goodness, the beautiful experience that's possible with life. There is a sensibility. Is that the word? A sensibility, a sensitivity to the aesthetic in the room. Like, how does it feel? King of Diamonds can be very pragmatic because they're in that horizontal Mars line, right? They're like, get her done. And they've got all these logic cards in front of them, all these even cards, 6 of Hearts, 4 of Clubs, 2 of Diamonds, 8 of Clubs, this, and then this King in their moon position. I'm talking all the descending chart. But the fact that they're in vertical Venus means they care. They really actually care, and that's why they make really good managers. Okay, so let's talk about the horizontal Mars. So because you're horizontal Mars, your life will be structured around business, around doing, around pragmatic activities. You're going to work, have a job. There's going to be that sense of routine and showing up, and whatever form that takes. I do know King of Diamonds that are self-employed, but man alive, do they ever demand a lot from themselves? That like show up, show up, show up. They're like in the grind. And a couple of very fun things about them is Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter. Oh, I was going to talk about the 10 of Diamonds, Slim. Yeah, I want to get back to you, but a couple more freebies for the King of Diamonds. Do you have any questions, Brenda? I'm going to make you work for it a little. You ask me a question because I am an encyclopedia. Just ask me. I don't know it all, but I know a lot. 10 of Diamonds, karma. Let's look at their, tuning in, just getting a download, because the 10 of Diamonds in the 43rd, the ascending, is Pinnacle. And they're the other really significant, they're Pinnacle, but they're also in the very center, Jupiter. And I bet you're a kick-ass businesswoman, Brenda. What's your business? God, I bet you're really busy and very good at it. And because you have a 6 of Hearts and a King of Hearts on either side of you, you care, you're sensitive, you're aware of people's feelings. Oh, that is the best combination. Because business is about people in the end, isn't it? I sound like I'm giving a seminar on business. I don't even do business. Yeah, I do, kind of. Home care agency. Like, it's a whole thing, an agency. I actually did talk to Robert Camp one time. I was like, I want a reading. Tell me about this in my chart this year. And I was actually 43. And he goes, oh, yeah, that's that year where there's like 3 of everything. Like, what's that about? What's that about? Anyway, he said that the kings have people working under them, that kind of thing. Oh, do you guys know each other? That's so cute. Did you just figure out who Brenda is? Okay, so the 10 of Diamonds occupying these really, really significant positions, it is heavy on them. There is like a heel of a hand pressing down on them in their life. I think it's really easy for them to fritz out and get overwhelmed because they allow this feeling of a lot being expected of them. They're natural leaders. Okay, so in the 43rd chart, the ascending, one click away from the pure spread in the other direction. If they're sitting in the pinnacle position, it means that their highest expression is to quietly sit and see. They can see what's going on. Take a pause, because that Queen of Spades is sitting under there. She waits before she speaks, and then when she does, carries a lot more weight if she's done the work of self-mastery. So the 10 of Diamonds has the Queen of Clubs and the Queen of Spades and the 8 of Diamonds, all as these karmic influences, which is all about taking personal responsibility and leadership. They're in a very unique position to offer really effective leadership, which in my mind says that they've just been doing this for a while. They're accessing the past life nodal points or receptor sites. We could think of it sequentially as the most recent lifetime, but since that's not the case, there is no sequence. Think of it more in terms of, oh, this is the lifetime where I'm accessing the past lives. The grid is lighting up this way. I'm accessing my lifetime in leadership positions in past lives, and I'm allowing that to inform me this time around. So I think that there can be a tremendous sense of responsibility, failure, regret, heavy duty shit. like, oh my God, I have to, so much is riding on me getting it right this time. But there's one thing that can bring that all together for them, that heavy duty sense of responsibility, which is personal responsibility to yourself, managing your own consciousness, self mastery. Get real with yourself and it will all fall into place. Just you. It's really hard for, that's why that their descending Pluto is the 9 of hearts. That can become really heavy self-esteem, suicidal kind of thoughts, total loss of self-esteem, a real battle with worthiness that nobody else sees. But that's their past life karma, is how are you dealing with your failures in regard to leadership. I never thought about this before, but this is really big. I'm going to cut the 10 of diamonds a lot more slack next time I see them, because man alive, there are a couple of them that I just find really hard to swallow, like extremely hard to swallow. It's like, would you please just like chill the fuck out? Well, this is one reason they have a hard time chilling out, right? Okay. 43 is an 8th housekeeper protection year. Very interesting. I don't know what this means. Definitely going through some things while you're needing to let go of something in order to transform. It's the house of death and rebirth, unfortunately, often fascinating through trauma, but we do rise like the phoenix within that house, so we are able to walk into the 9th house of Jupiter year and expand on what we've learned and reach from our experience. This is next level stuff. I don't know what you're talking about, but I think what you're saying is that there's a correlation in the 43rd year to passing through the 8th house, which is scorpionic, dealing with power issues, and cleaning house, going into the dark, dealing with shadow, transformation, death, and rebirth. Pluto, plutonic. It's really freaking intense. Rebirth, 43rd. Yeah, was that an intense year for me? Oh, fuck yeah, that was massive. That was just before I left a relationship and found my twin flame. It was like the crisis moment. It was building and building, and I became my own sovereign that year. It was really intense, and it was all about my own personal power. You rise like the phoenix with that house, within the house, so we're able to walk into the 9th house, Jupiter, and expand on what we've learned and reach. Yeah, that's a really good fit. So I don't know how those house things work with this system, but maybe somebody will teach me. Man, when people drop me bits of information, I basically like got the basics and then just really expanded into the basics. And I didn't get the later editions of Robert Camp's year. So somebody just last month explained to me for this first time what the Deccan card was. And I was like, oh, it was such a revelation. So I can't beat myself up about the big holes in my learning, but you know, there they are. It's endless with the cards, right? Endless. So I'm going to put that in my pipe and really smoke it, because the 43rd year, if I'm thinking of this as an ascension, we're looking at the highest potential achievement through the worst possible thing that could happen to you, which is a huge correlation to the wisdom I've gained about the Enneagram. So if you know your Enneatype, you go like, I'm a 9. Okay, I'm a 9, so I know about this. The worst possible thing that will happen to a 9 is that they get completely ignored, overlooked. Oh, you're welcome, Brenda. And you feel invisible. Because that's their wound, right? I'm invisible. I'm inconsequential. And I was the youngest of 5 kids. A girl, really had it rough, ignored, born in 1952. Then 3 boys, and then me. And it was great. Like it was fine. Like there wasn't any major abuse, but the dysfunction that I had to deal with was being invisible. Hey, okay, I can't forget about that 9. Okay, so the phrase I wanted to use, and then I'll read your message because I don't want to lose it, is that the worst possible thing that could happen to your type not only is likely to happen, but must happen for your graduation into self-realization, where you heal your own wound. You become the source and the elixir of healing. So what does a 9 need? They need to be seen and valued. I must see and value myself. I have to be put in that isolation chamber to find that, oh, there is somebody in here. It's me, and I can do this work of seeing myself. And then when they do, they become this amazing source of unconditional love that's not always asking for something. So that could be the 43rd year, the 8th house. When you're looking at the 43rd chart and you study your hand, if you've been through the shit, you'll get it. The more trauma you have resolved in your life, the more that chart will make sense to you about what you came here to become. It's like the final product. I think we're onto some really good shit here. It's really good shit. Okay. Do you remember what your ruling card was for that year? So profection, do you mean protection or perfection? It usually correlates. The ruling card. What do you mean by ruling card for that year? The long range card? Because I could easily look it up. Okay, Jason, hello. Welcome. Welcome, Jason. Hola. Shout out from Mexico. Sending love, success, and abundance to all of you. Yay! You're the 3 of diamonds, 5 of clubs, 10, just hanging out, listening to your art. That is so cool. Because you're right. It is my art. It is totally my art. It makes me happier than anything when we're creating. And this is one of my funnest creations, is just like interacting with people about the cards, because it's like, what a bizarre freaking lexicon we've got. People are like, what are you talking about? It's like human design. It's like, I'm a projector. And like, I have to wait to respond. I love human design. It gives me a feeling of like what I sound like to other people when I'm talking the cards. It's like blah, blah, ginger. Okay. My long range card. Oh, I'm gonna go get my book, my other book. So a while back, I discovered like the hero's journey reading. And what you do is you go back to a pivotal year in your life, like when the shit really hit the fan, and you do an ascension card reading. You don't just look at the descending cards the way we normally look at them, which is to the down and to the left. Oh, I'm exhausted. But you go to the right and up, and you look at achievements and self-actualization from that period of time. So we're talking about my 43rd year. So I would go to chart number 43, and I would look at the 7 of diamonds, and I would go to the right and up. So I had 2 9s, Mercury and Venus, which is huge because it was like, yeah, the shit was hitting the fan. Things were coming to an end. There was a massive completion energy and the end of old paradigms and old value systems. And it was really scary and it was really hard, but it was like, whoa, big picture clarity. Mars, 5 of spades ascending was like, yeah, I moved. I relocated. I sure did. Eventually, actually, it came when I was 44, but the 43rd year, I think, was just like, it just really rocked me. I don't remember it terribly clearly because 44 was when it all really, really changed. But let's look it up anyhow. My long range card that year was the Jack of Hearts. And I had 2 karma cards, 6 of spades, Pluto, 6 of diamonds result. Yeah, super intense. It was like there was definitely a sense of timing. Mm-hmm. Profections. Basically, this moves your ascendant 1 house per year. So by the time you're 43, your ascendant is in the 8th house, and whatever constellation rules that house is your activated ruler. Ugh. Sorry, it's like too much. The computer just went, ah. Okay, so if you have this edition of the cards and the charts, right here it says long range cards ages 301 to 307. That's handy if you want to understand the karma of an incarnation. What would be the long range card for the United States? Okay, so how old are we? 1776, 200. 86, 96, 06, 16, 26. So we're 248. We will be 248 this year. Ooh, this is almost creeping me out, the kind of information we're about to access. 248. So we're 247. Oh, I marked it in here, the Jack of Diamonds. Because that's the USA, Jack of Diamonds, 2017 was year 241. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 was the 67th year, which we are still completing, the 67th year. So the July 4th means that we are in our, are you following me? Max, what is it? We are in Jupiter. So Jupiter of the 67th year, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter. Right now we have Ace of Spades, 3 of Hearts. So as a nation, there is a new beginning of some kind, and thinking about group dynamics, maybe some emotional indecision, being pulled in 2 different directions. 3 of Spades, I think, is part of the theme of the duality there. But okay, so our long range card is, let's see if I can figure this out. If we're 240, oh, why is this not gelling in my head? 63 is Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. I think we're finishing out a Saturn year, and then we're going to go into a Uranus year. So our long range Saturn card for age 35, ages 245 to 251. Jack of Diamonds. Oh, I'm so confused. Do you guys know what I'm trying to figure out? Okay, so descending Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Our long range card. Well, ascending would be the 10 of clubs. Yeah, okay, this makes sense. Our long range card, 45, 46, 47, 48. No, then it would be Jupiter. 245 is Mercury. Okay, 45, so 41. 45, so 65, Mercury, so it's Mars. 65, we were 246. Okay, I'm just too confused to figure this out. Dang it! This is the transition from 247 to 240. Right. So we're finishing out 247, which is the same as, okay, so 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47. We turned last July the equivalent of the 67th year. We are in Jupiter. So the chart for the long range cards, we're going from a Mars to a Jupiter year. So our long range card, I was right. Our long range card descending has been the Eight of Diamonds. Well, we're definitely trying to figure out what's the most important to us. And we're looking at the financial system. Uh-oh, guess what? Seven of Diamonds in Jupiter descending for the 248th year could be a financial collapse. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, going from Seven of Spades, which is a kind of finding our backbone, our righteousness, to the Six of Spades. Okay, so ascending, we've got a karma card. Descending, we've got Seven of Diamonds. So if I'm right, on our birthday, on this coming 4th of July, our long range card will be, God, I wish I could ask Robert Camp about this. It will be the Seven of Diamonds. So it is the millionaire's card, right? And when they talk about the financial system collapsing, there's all this stuff about the QFS, about the RV, about the new financial system. And I feel like we've been racing with the digital currency they want to create is very bad and evil and controlling. But the one that wants to be created is quantum, the QFS, which is positive. It's like, this is a bad AI, this is a good AI, this is consciousness based. And I think this is already in place. And I know that the USA is already bankrupt. The corporation of the United States is dead and bankrupt, operating on fiat currency. And I think the other system is already in place. So that Seven of Diamonds would make sense that we would experience a collapse but a rebirth. And that the Seven of Diamonds, if you're aligned, the whole key to the Seven of Diamonds is you have to be spiritually aligned to get the money. That's been the theme of my life as a Seven of Diamonds, is like figuring out the energy of abundance. And then I can pass through the golden gates. And what I learned is I am the abundance. So as a nation, are we about to figure out that abundance is in the people? It's in the gifts. It's in the card that I pulled for today in my other spread. Everyone brings a gift, a form of abundance. That's the richness. That's the wealth of not only the nation, any nation, but the whole planet, is the people. So we could have a radical change in values, and it may come through calamity. This makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? In my opinion, and decodes, we are entering 48. I agree. Last year, 4th of July was 47. Yeah, 247. We're going to 48. It's going to be a confusing year. I agree. For many, and clarification for others. Yes. Yes, we're on the same page, dude. That tells me we're exactly on the same page. So it's about CDBC and crypto. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Crazy intersection, right? Oh, that's just wild what I think we just discovered. Yeah, and what I've noticed is that, like, if you're already, you got some more DNA strands turning on and you're in the ascending timeline and like all that, you know, we don't know what else to call it. So I can't be too like critical of the terminology we use because we don't have any other terminology. We just know the vibration's going up. things are changing and it's getting really like it's good. It's good, but it does mean a massive house cleaning because there's been so much darkness and corruption on the planet for so long with the evil controllers. So, yeah. So there has to be death and rebirth together. Yeah, we're definitely on the same page, dude. So, with that being said, what I meant to say is that what we feel coming isn't scary to us because we're like, well, of course, it had to come to this, of course. But for those, I think, that aren't in that frequency, I think it's can be really scary. So I think that we're like the baffleds in the mattress that just like, keep it solid. Yeah, like when I oof. I'm very excited too. And my guides told me last year, I'm like, why did I go through so much personal development last year? Like it was fine tooth comb through the consciousness and why this and why that and EMDR and awakening. And it was amazing. It was a really, really incredible year. And they're like, well, to prepare you for next year, of course, which didn't scare me. I was like, whoa, okay, finally. So it's happening. Well, Pluto going into Aquarius is really good to highlight tech this year and for the best few years, or is it the next few years? And the US just went through a Pluto return. So yeah, death. Right, of course, right? Right. Yeah, that whole constellation of, Pluto and Uranus and stuff. So um I'm gonna close out with this because the sun just came out and I want to go outside in Colorado here. Um I just finished reading a book called and if you go to the YouTube channel called Journey of Truth with Aaron and Jason, I think his name is. Anyway, I love those guys. They interviewed this gal named Sarah Bresman Cosme. I don't know if she invented that, but it's called A Hypnotist's Journey to Atlantis, something like that. And it was all about this woman who didn't believe in woo-woo at all and just agreed to be her guinea pig with hypnotherapy so this gal could finish her certification. And it ended up being one of those things where she came back over and over again. And through the course of that year, she got a bunch of other clients that the details and the confirmations of what they were looking at are just astounding. But it's all about Lemuria and Atlantis. And when I was reading that book, I had spontaneous memories. And on my other channel, which is just my name, Paula J. Kruger, if you scroll through my videos, I just give a blow by blow. I had like a whole day of spontaneous memories of that time. And I've never really given it much thought. But what my experience was is that when I ascended up out of that body, we met outside time, that version of myself and me, and we met. And she was like, I see it all now. And I was like, I see it all now. And it was like, that was for this. Lemuria and Atlantis were really, really extremely different. One was, heart-centered and spiritual, and the other was really like the vibe of it wasn't just like we think of our culture as being soulless. This was something altogether different and really, really, really sick, completely soulless. It was really sick. And now we have an intermingling of Lemuria and Atlantis. We have infiltrated. And when you think about it, just think of this one thing, like insurance companies now recognize chiropractor as an accepted form of treatment. There's been an infiltration, even though it's still kind of run by the Atlanteans. It's not. It's not. We are here en masse. I recommend reading that book because I think the purpose of those two cultures existing and our participation in it, and we're revisiting and finishing out the karma of all of that right now. Fantastic book. So the channel where she gets interviewed, you can just look her up on YouTube, Sarah Bresman Cosme, and you'll find interviews. She's interviewed by a lot of different people, but the Journey to Truth guys, I just love them. That's the name of their YouTube channel. And her book is A Hypnotist's Journey to Atlantis, I think is what it's called. I got it like from a secondhand online thing for like $12. We'll hit 0 degree. Oh, we'll hit 0 degrees Aries in 2025, and that's when I feel like we will be tested and stuff may come through that we've never seen before having to do with tech. Ooh, Isis Marie, frequency. Yeah, it's all about frequency, right? Everything. Get in control of your own frequency, and you're there, man. And it's hard. It's hard to control your own frequency, but like I made a decision this past year to be happy because I was like, fuck, you know what? I've woke up depressed more days than I care to, and I am getting on top of this thing. I choose happiness. And I was like blissfully happy for like 2 solid months, and then like, shit hits the fan and stuff happens. But I have that commitment to myself, and now it's not just happy, it's enchanted. I want to be enchanted. Yes, I agree. I agree. And also, what do you guys think of the solar eclipses? So we had the first one in 2017? That made one X from the northwest to the southeast. And then on April 24th of 2024, it's going from the southwest to the northeast. And it's making this big X across the United States, like if you take the first one and then the second one. I think it's a completion, an ending of something. And I do think that it doesn't have to be really, really hellacious. I think it's gradual. Like, I used to follow everything, and then I just this past year was like, "I don't wanna know anymore. I don't wanna follow anymore. I just wanna be happy." And I made the frequency decision basis. I was like, "Frequency, I wanna be happy." And even though I'm like, I'm battle weary, I don't wanna be on the front lines listening to everything that's going on. That was my soul guiding me and saying, "Okay, that's gonna take you down. You needed to know about what was going on, and now you can't let it take you down anymore. You have to just get happy. Be happy." And I've been so happy, like I'm making stuff. I love making stuff. April's gonna be fire. Yeah. Interesting to think about, right? Okay. I'll take one or two more comments or questions, and then I'm gonna go. Like, what an amazing session. I have to remind myself that when I just get on here, it's always fun because the people that show up are supposed to show up, and then it's like, God, I think one day I had like 6, 7 of diamonds or something. It was just crazy. So, yes, I will be on more frequently, and here is my request to you. Please send me requests about what you want me to talk about. If you want a Cosmic Connection report about your card and someone else's card, go to my website, which is listed below in the description. It is kismet.com, ITISKISMET.com. And then look for Cosmic Connection reading, and then it'll give you instructions on how to contact me, how to shoot me a text and be like, hey, like, here's my birthday, here's the other person's birthday. And then I do an email thing. $45 just email. Wow, thank you. Yes, I really appreciate you, Jeannie, too. I appreciate all of you. I feel your energy, and it's like, it really builds my confidence that we're going to be okay because, like, look at the caliber of person that's on this planet right now. We're not alone, guys. You're freaking awesome. So, yeah, if there's anything in particular you want me to look at, I will. But I think it just happens, right? It just happens in the moment. Thank you, Jason. Oh, someone's at my door. I have to go now. I love you. Bye.